We are Group 14. Today we'll talk about the U.S. financial market, and we focus on Conoco Phillips as our case study. These are contents. First, to introduce the U.S. financial market is known for its high transparency, strong liquidity, diversified investment products, and a solid regulatory system. U.S. Treasury bonds are considered some of the world's safety assets, and the U.S. dollar is a leading global reserve and trade currency. The advantage attracts significant international investment.
The New York Stock Exchange is one of the top stock exchanges in the U.S., serving as a key indicator of market condition and economic trend. As global uncertainty continues to shape financial market, navigating NYSE listing has become more complex for companies seeking to go public. At NYSE, every company is different, so they focus on understanding each one's need. The exchange providing strong support, transparency, and flexibility to help business success before and after listing. One of its main services include an Intel content and qualification reviews where companies undergo early assessment, include financial data checks to ensure they meet listing requirements. However, market volatility can significantly impact the timing of public offering. If conditions become too unstable, companies may delay their IPO, a signal that has become more common recently. This reflects how close the NYSE works with business and how external financial factors influence the next proposal.
To see real GDP, let's look at the upper chart. We can observe that during Q2 2020, the economy fell into recession with negative real GDP due to the pandemic. The Fed responds with unlimited QE to support the economy. And then the lower chart shows the composition of real GDP in Q4 2024, mainly driven by strong customer spending and government expenditure with limited investment and a negative contribution from net exports. Overall, real GDP growth slowed noticeably from Q3 to Q4 2023, indicating weakening economic momentum. Next, we discuss CPI. The chart shows that from January to March 2025, the CPI declined, indicating a moderation in price pressures. In the second part, let's take a look at market expectations from inflation. Starting in July, the market expects inflation to pick up again. This has raised concern about stagflation. There are two key indicators to watch: core CPI and retail sales. If April's core CPI is below 2.7%, the market will likely gain more confidence that the Fed will cut rates, which would be positive. However, if core CPI exceeds 3%, the market may think rate cuts will be delayed. In that case, the US dollar may strengthen. The ideal scenario for stock market is when inflation eases, but retail sales remain strong. This would mean inflation is under control while customer demand stays solid.
Conoco Phillips is a major U.S. energy company engaged in the exploration, production, and sales. Next, we are introducing the stock performance. ROA measures how effective a company uses its assets to generate profit. A higher ROA indicates better asset utilization and operation efficiency. ROE reflects the company's ability to generate returns from shareholders. A higher ROE suggests stronger profitability and efficient financial management. EM, the equity measure measure a company level of financial leverage. A higher equity measure indicates greater use of debt financing, meaning the company faces higher financial risk. EPS is an indicator used to measure a company's profitability. A higher EPS means the company has a stronger ability to generate profit for its shareholders. We choose to introduce Taishin Bank because we discovered that its offer fixed income products linked to Conoco Phillips, a well-known American audio company. Specifically, Taishin Sales Bank based on Conoco Phillips' credit performance. When we look at the related financial data, we notice that Conoco Phillips' reference market value has been gradually rising over time. This data increase suggests that despite recent global market uncertainty, investors continue to have strong confidence in the company credit state. This relationship between a local bank and an international energy company shows how financial institutions carefully select stable partners even in changing economic conditions.
Now let's see Taixing's financial performance comparison. From the financial performance shown in 2024, RE and RA rose significantly compared to the previous 2 years, showing better resource efficiency. EN has also increased steadily, reflecting effective assets used by Taixing. Since 2018, Trump launched the America First strategy with key goals protecting U.S. manufacturing, reduce trade deficits, and exerting pressure on trade rivals. The U.S. imposed 25% tariffs on Chinese goods worth over $3.2 trillion and punted tariff on trade deficits countries reached up to 145%. In response, countries like China and the EU retaliated. For example, the EU imposed tariff worth $95 billion, targeting U.S. exports like aircraft, cars, and alcoholic beverages. Economically, U.S. consumers face higher prices with real disposable income for low-income households falling by 4.9% and core inflation rising. Although some industry benefit, steel capacity utilization reached 81%. The downstream sector lost an average of $340 million annually. Globally, the policy reshaped supply chains. Container tariffs between the U.S. and China fell 30% to 40%, and product prices surged. Jeans increased from 8 to 12, and t-shirts rose 25%. The EMF also downgraded global GDP growth forecast to 2.8%. Trump's tariffs continue to impact global trade structures and raise concerns about free trade and the role of institutions like the WTO. For Conoco Phillips, which heavily depends on the U.S. market, directly affects profit margins and the competitiveness of its international operations. Its return on capital is also under pressure. We suggest diversifying its supply chains to avoid over-reliance on imports, expand operations in non-U.S. markets to balance regional risks, invest in global resourcing and manufacturing to reduce tariff exposure and stabilize costs.
Tariff policy in recent periods have created serious challenges for export-driven economy like ours. While many industries were hit hard, the financial sector faced different types of risks. As a financial institution, Taixing Bank responds by taking a more cautious and balanced investment strategy to reduce risk and maintain stable returns. Taixing increased its investment in more defense assets such as utility, stocks, and bonds. They are generally seen as a suffer during uncertain times.
Fed Reserve System is the central bank of the United States, established in response to banking crisis. It has 4 main objects, with the primary goal being price stability and maximizing employment. The Fed can influence the economy and financial market through the variable tools, such as FFR, QE, QT. This document explains interest rate cuts and their potential impacts. The Fed holds a meeting annually. Day 1. Release economy data and compare forecasts compared to actual GDP to assess economic conditions. Day 2. Vote on whether to adjust interest rates, including the direction and magnitude. These decisions have significant impacts on financial markets and the global economy, making the outcomes highly anticipated.
This is our prediction. First, resulting in a return of negative 9.5045%. Second, cost of financing. Using the FFR change of negative 0.25% combined with a 3.33% concession on bank bonds, we estimate Conoco Phillips financing cost at 3.08%. Third, policy shock. Environment. Oil spill indicated during transportation have damaged marine environment and the company's image, highlighting environment risk. Many countries are shifting away from forcing flow due to climate and emission concerns, negatively affect long-term growth prospects and forcing business model adjustment. Estimate negative impact 2.5%. Trump tariff policy effect. On April 3, the U.S. announced tariff expectation on energy impact OPEC, increasing oil production, causing oil price to drop over 3%. Amid weak global demand and failing investment, confident markets are decreasing policy driven. In designated rest of, for example, liberal energies, stock plumbed over 30% in 2 days. Conoco Phillips stock fell 10% in a single day, making energy stock a focal point of market turbulence. Instrument negative impact 9%. Policy benefit divided into two parts. Part 1. Saw the side opposition and strengthened accreditation. We estimate that the overall benefits could increasing by approximately 5%. Part 2. The shorter rate cotton cycle has expanded M2, boosting energy demand and supporting oil price and sales. Looser financial conditions also improved investment sentiment. Estimate benefit 6%. Summary, final project return negative C.9 to 45%.
To estimate future performance, this chart shows future stock price movements of Conoco Phillips under both optimistic and pessimistic scenarios. In conclusion, recent May 7th FOMC meeting, the Fed decided to maintain a wait-and-see approach. However, direct policy may increase inflationary pressures, potentially leading to higher inflation, slower economic growth, and raising unemployment. Under Trump's policy, non-systemic risks have increased. Although Conoco Phillips is a U.S.-based energy company, it may still be affected by retaliatory measures from other countries and broader market volatility.